At 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio and USM Campus News. USM marketing student earns prestigious Lilly Sales internship. Madison Calkins, a marketing student at the University of Southern Mississippi, has been selected for the prestigious Eli Lilly Sales internship program to begin this summer. The internship is a 10-week program designed to give students real-world experience in pharmaceutical sales. The internship consists of sales training at Lilly Corp headquarters in Indianapolis and field-based training in an assigned territory. USM School of Social Work receives accreditation reaffirmation following a thorough review of the Commission of Accreditation for the Council of Social Work Education. The Master of Social Work and Bachelor of Social Work programs in the University of Southern Mississippi School of Social Work received accreditation through June 2030th. Dr. Jerome Colbo, director of the USM School of Social Work, goes on to say it was wonderful to see the COA vote during the October 2022 meeting to reaffirm accreditation for the next 8 years. Their standards for social work education are rigorous, and we are honored to maintain the highest program criteria, which align with their expectations for the finest educational offerings in social work. This accreditation is also necessary for our graduates to obtain licensure requirements for employment as professionals across the U.S. In Hattiesburg news, road closure set for this week in Collins. A road to the Covington County Hospital's emergency room will be closed for an undetermined amount of time starting this week. According to Collins Mayor Hope McGee Jones, a section of Hospital Boulevard between the hospital and South Fontage Road will be closed due to emergency culvert repairs. During this time, residents are asked to use an alternative route to the hospital, such as taking South 4th Street and turning on Gerard McCaney Street. Extra Table March of the Mayor's Food Drive kicks off. Extra Table's second annual March of the Mayor's Food Drive kicks off Wednesday across the 2/3 of the state. The food drive covers 3 regions in Mississippi, including the Jackson metro area, the Gulf Coast region, and 13 cities in the Pine Belt region. Extra Table Executive Director Martha Allen said that the event is about amassing food to stock pantries and soup kitchens across the region. Allen goes on to say, "We know the statistics on the state level, that 1 in 5 Mississippians are hungry. But those are our neighbors. There are people in our community. There are people in our children's classrooms." In Mississippi news, Mississippi governor vows to sign limit on transgender care. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves confirmed Tuesday that he plans to sign a bill to ban gender-affirming care in the state for anyone younger than 18, part of the broad effort in conservative states to restrict transgender athletes, gender-reaffirming care, and drag shows. House Bill 1125 won final approval Tuesday in the Republican-controlled Mississippi Senate. It will be sent in the coming days to Reeves, a Republican who is running for re-election. The bill now heads to the majority Republican Arkansas House. McKenna Rainey Gray, the group's LGBTQ Justice Project staff attorney, said in a statement, "This care was already too difficult to access across the state for transgender people of any age. But this law shuts the door on best practice medical care and puts politics between parents, their children, and their doctors." JPS teachers develop a program to address students' mental and emotional needs recognized after COVID-19. 2 Jackson Public Schools teachers noticed a difference in students after COVID and developed a plan to address their mental and emotional needs. From isolation to bullying, the new program is giving children a brighter outlook on dealing with life's struggles. Inside Johnson Elementary, 3rd and 4th graders are learning skills to be optimistic, welcoming, and problem solvers. Tuesdays and Thursdays are devoted to social emotional learning. Students at Johnson are their first in the district using this program. Marshall and Stanton, English language and art teachers, hope it will expand to schools throughout the district. In national news, companies can no longer silence laid-off employees in exchange for severance. The National Labor Relations Board this week put employers on notice that they can no longer silence laid-off employees in two very specific ways that the board says violates employees' rights under Section 7 and 8 of the National Labor Relations Act. Employees can no longer include a broadly written confidentiality clause that requires you to keep mum about the terms of severance agreement. And they can no longer include a broadly written non-disparagement clause that prohibits you from discussing the terms and conditions of your employment with third parties. With the exception of railroads and airlines, U.S. business and employers are subjected to NLRB's authority. We'll be right back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Join Dr. Ed Simpson with a panel of USM students and professors for the first News You Need live event, Tremors in the Digital World. Thursday, February 23rd at 5 p.m. in Stout Hall on the USM campus. Tremors in the Digital World will examine how artificial intelligence and social media affects news gathering, reporting, and the world around us. Tremors in the Digital World, a News You Need live event. Thursday, February 23rd at 5 p.m. in Stout Hall on the USM campus. Listen live on Southern Miss Radio if you can't be at the event. News You Need is sponsored by USM Partners for the Arts.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now on to your sports. Southern Miss banged out a season-high 14 hits, including 7 for extra bases, as they defeated New Orleans 12-0 Tuesday night at Pete Taylor Park, Hill Denson Field. The Southern Miss men's tennis team picked up a much-needed win over Prairie View A&M on Tuesday afternoon after dropping a heartbreaker to Lamar on Monday. Congratulations, Eagles. The Southern Miss women's basketball is facing off against Ragin' Cajuns at Louisiana February 24th at 5 p.m. Let's go, Eagles. To keep up with all the Golden Eagles sports activities, head on over to southernmiss.com. Now on to your weather. The lowest in the Pine Belt is 69 degrees and will shoot up into the mid-80s later today. Current forecast high for this afternoon is 84 degrees. It's all going to come down to cloud cover, which I expect will be slightly thinner than expected later today. That doesn't mean we'll see much sun, but the southerly wind and upper level high will keep the thermometer inching upwards. Throughout this entire period, we'll keep our more cloudy than not skies and see few and far between pockets of drizzle/light showers. And it won't be until Tuesday that we'll see an afternoon below 80 degrees. And even then, it's a high of 78. Still 12 degrees above the average. Thankfully, it will finally break and we'll see some much more appropriate weather coming in by next weekend. After our next round of thunderstorms next Thursday, Friday morning. That'll have us in the chilly 40s for a morning or two and bring us at least one afternoon south of 70 degrees, but it isn't likely to stick around. Up next, we have Rosie Weary recalling the Community Farm School in Mellington Hall. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. The Mendenhall Ministries established a 150-acre farm to teach their young people a good work ethic. Rosie Weary explains how the food they grow benefits the entire community.
Over the years, we developed jobs for the youth on our farm. We believe that our young folks need to work. And during the summer, we have summer youth leadership development. And before 9 o'clock, my husband and I would take the youth to the farm. 6 o'clock in the morning, we pick peas. We do all what needs to be done. In the springtime, he would have them after school to go out and help plant the vegetables and things like that. We want to teach them the value of work, the ethic of work and everything. We grow all types of vegetables, watermelon and all kinds of things. A lot of it we use to feed the kids in our Christian school. Others we gave away, some we sold to different vendors and things like that, and people could come out and they called pick your own for, charge them so much you could pick your own and everything. So it was a real benefit to the community.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
That was Rosie Weary recalling the Community Farm School in Mellington Hall. Coming up, we've got Dr. Kim Woolley and Galit Kaunitz to talk about a lovely event coming up.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Join Dr. Ed Simpson with a panel of USM students and professors for the first News You Need live event, Tremors in the Digital World, Thursday, February 23rd at 5 p.m. in Stout Hall on the USM campus. Tremors in the Digital World will examine how artificial intelligence and social media affects news gathering, reporting, and the world around us. Tremors in the Digital World, a News You Need live event, Thursday, February 23rd at 5 p.m. in Stout Hall on the USM campus. Listen live on Southern Miss Radio if you can't be at the event. News You Need is sponsored by USM Partners for the Arts.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to both Dr. Kaunitz and Dr. Woolley. Hello, both of you. How are you doing?
We're doing great. Thank you for having us.
Great to be here. That's wonderful. So for anyone that doesn't know, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
We are the oboe and bassoon teachers at Southern Miss, and we get to interact with all of the students in the School of Music, especially the oboe and bassoon students.
Right. Well, that's absolutely lovely. And I know that I've heard different concerts that are being performed here at USM, and it sounds completely lovely. So I'm really excited about what this double read event is coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We have so many events in the School of Music happening all the time, but this weekend we have a workshop for middle school and high school students. We're inviting all these students to campus to spend the day with us in the School of Music to work on reed making, performing, and to learn any number of things about their instruments.
We have students coming from Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama to participate in this event, and we have invited special guests, Leah Forsyth and Doug Bachenhuis, who are the oboe and bassoon teachers at Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana. So they are going to come and share their expertise with all of our participants.
Right.
And it will be a fun event for everybody.
Right.
We hope most of all. Yes, it's a learning opportunity, but we will also have a good time. We start our day off at 10 in the morning with a faculty recital, actually. Both Dr. Kaunitz and I will be performing along with Dr. Forsyth and Dr. Bachenhuis, and maybe some of our own students, too, on that morning recital. And then we spend the rest of the day in various activities. We have vendors coming to sell specialized merchandise that only bassoonists and oboists need. Yes, there is such a thing. And an instrument repair technician coming to work with them, and we hope there's great opportunity for them to widen their horizons where their instruments are concerned, but also to enjoy being on campus and seeing the School of Music.
Right. Well, that's such a wonderful opportunity to not only be able to learn more about the music regarding these instruments, but also the general technician for the instruments, as well as be in this community of fellow bassoonists and fellow oboists, I believe, that overall get to connect with each other and really experience the joys and the wonderful aspects of music. And with the music that will be played at this event, is it more classical? Is it more contemporary?
It's a mix of both.
Okay.
We are ending the day with a 3:30 p.m. concert in Marsh Auditorium with a double reed ensemble And if you haven't heard an entire stage full of oboists and bassoonists all playing at the same time, it is a spectacle not to be missed.
Right.
Many of these students are the only ones in their band program in middle school and high school, so this will be maybe the first time that they have been in a room full of other people who do what they do. We have some classical arrangements and for this ensemble, and we also have some contemporary pop music arrangements that sound surprisingly good on oboe and bassoon.
And last year we had around 50 people on stage, right?
That's
all
correct.
playing
Wow,
oboe
50.
and bassoon. So if anybody out there is listening and is interested in hearing what that sounds like, feel free to drop by at 3:30. The day is a ticketed event. We have a $15 fee for participating for the day, but if anybody's interested in just dropping by anytime, you are welcome to do so.
Well, that's amazing, and I love that opportunity for the students, and I love how I'm just so excited about that concept about like the new contemporary and these new pop songs and the way that it might sound. So thank you both for coming on and talking a little bit about this. Please make sure that if you're interested at all in this event, to go to the Double Read event at Marsh Hall. It's a $15 admission, and it's absolutely wonderful.
And I just want to add one quick thing. Our guests are actually arriving in town tomorrow, and
Wow.
they're going to be working with our university students, giving master classes at 3:30 in the afternoon, and then playing a recital in Marsh Auditorium at 6 tomorrow night. Both of those are completely free and open to the public, and we invite anybody to attend.
Okay, well that's even better. Well, once again, thank you so much for coming on and giving a voice to our Eagles.
Thank you.
We're going to be right back for our next guest right after you hear from our news wrap.
Administration and faculty across the university are concerned about the academic integrity among students and the use of the new AI, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence tool that helps students complete and answer writing assignments with no effort. ChatGPT, released in November 22, is now gaining a lot of attention from faculty and staff members here on campus. However, the University of Southern Mississippi's Office of the Provost is in the process of handling the use of students using ChatGPT.
Right now, we haven't considered it. I think individual faculty are concerned that students might use it in their coursework, but of course we have an academic integrity policy that says they shouldn't do that, and we have a student success office that monitors that. So I think right now it's being handled through the Associate Provost Office, and it's not really on the agenda for the Faculty Senate at the moment.
ChatGPT is also a tool that pulls information written by others and forming a generic response to the question given.
I think the major concern by many people is that ChatGPT will be abused. It will be utilized on college campuses to submit assignments, and I think that concern is very legitimate. I also think that if you have played with ChatGPT, you can very quickly identify its shortcomings. It does not understand truth. It works based on word probability. So it knows that there's a high probability that the word domestic follows gross and the word product to follows domestic. So it uses probability to construct writing or creatively.
If you would like to try ChatGPT, please use with caution as this goes against academic integrity policies. For more on this story, please visit sm2media.com. I'm Sethany Smith reporting for SM2 Media.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. And now our new guest here is Judge Gaye Polk-Payton. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm pretty all right.
Good.
So for anyone that doesn't know, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Gaye Polk-Payton. I am from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and I am a Southern Miss alum, Southern Miss to the top. I received my bachelor's degree here in 1990. Then I got a master's degree from the University of New Orleans in business.
Right.
I went to law school at Ole Miss and received my Juris Juris Doctor in 1996, and I've been practicing law for 26 years. I've been a Justice Court judge with Forest County for 11 years and a municipal court judge with the City of Hattiesburg for the last 4 years.
Wow. That's a whole lot, but it's a lot of wonderful things.
Thank you.
So what inspired you to run for Forest County Judge?
Oh, wow. Well, my mentor in the law, Judge Deborah Gambrell, she's retired now, but she was appointed to the Chancery Court and her seat became empty. She was my mentor when I was in law school. She's an amazing woman, and when she vacated, she's also a Southern Miss alum. I think she was a Southern Miss, the Dixie Darling.
Yeah.
So, but when she retired, her seat became, well, when she got transferred over to Chancery Court, her seat became empty, and I decided to run for her position, and even though her feet are smaller than mine, those were some big shoes to fill, but I wanted to follow in her footsteps.
That's absolutely wonderful,
Yes.
and it's such a treat to be able to hear about almost like that passing of the torch.
Oh, yes, definitely, definitely. And when I was in 9th grade, Sandra Day O'Connor became the first woman on the United States Supreme Court, and that's when I knew that I wanted to be a judge one day.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And while you're running as the that judge, what type of experiences did you have to go through, especially during Black History Month?
Oh, wow. Well, I really, I just always expound on Black History Month because, it's very important for us to embrace the past in order for us to move forward into the future. So it's just like being the first Black woman who was chief public defender, being the first Black woman to do this, the first Black woman to do that. Everybody puts a lot of emphasis on that because they want to. The problem that I have is that a lot of times the positive is highlighted, but the negative is ignored. So in order for the positive to be highlighted and for people to truly understand how positive the positive is, the negative has to be acknowledged.
Right. Absolutely,
Definitely.
100%. And I understand that when you were a practicing attorney, has there ever been a type of case that you covered that impacted you or motivated you and really told you that this is what I'm doing?
Oh, wow. Well, as chief public defender, I had to represent people whether I believed in their innocence or not, And so, but I explained it the best too when we had a case from Kansas. It was Russell County, Kansas is where the case ended up, but it started in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, so it was tried in Forest County. So someone from the KBI asked me a question about how I represent people when I know what they've done. And I told him, I said, well, the Constitution works for every citizen of the United States, and they're afforded the protection of an attorney in all stages of the proceedings. I said, now, I admit that sometimes as a public defender, 90% of my clients are guilty, but if the Constitution doesn't work for the 90% that are guilty, it's not going to work for the 10% that aren't, and it's not going to work for you and me when we need it to work. So we have to make sure that it works each time, every time, and that everybody gets their constitutional rights protected, including their right for the state to prove them guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So now, as a judge, I get to be a gatekeeper of the Constitution and make sure that the protections are afforded to the state of Mississippi and that the protections are afforded to the victim and to the defendant.
Right. Well, that's inspiring, really.
Thank you.
And overall, I know that I was reading some things, and it looks like that you're a singer and a songwriter and an author. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
I'm a busy little bee. I am. I've been singing since I was 10. That was the first time I sang my first solo at church by myself. It was The Old Rugged Cross. I'll never forget. And I really didn't believe that I could sing until I got to college here at USM. Because, at church, people want to encourage you, so they'll tell you can sing. And, and it's just like, wait a minute now, if I can sing, and then you just told her that she sounded beautiful, it's just like, it's like you're lying to one of us. So when I got to college, and students who are very, very brutally mean, when they told me I could sing, that's when I believed that I could sing. So it's like when I was in law school at Ole Miss, I sang the national anthem for the first time at Ole Miss at Tad Smith Coliseum for the basketball game. And so, that was the first time that I really, really let it go. And so I've been singing the national anthem ever since. I sing at different events. I've written several songs, including a gospel song, and they're recorded. And, just do my thing. I've written a book. It's called This Has Been a Public Service Announcement.
Right.
Public service announcements, information disseminated for the greater good of society. It's
Right.
kind of like based on a concept I learned in law school called res ipsa loquitur, which means the thing speaks for itself. And in my hood, that means it is what it is. So I give it to you. I give it to you straight, no chaser. It's like where Mother Wit meets my law degree. It's
Right.
not me telling people what they should do. It's kind of a precautionary tales to tell them what they shouldn't do to avoid certain pitfalls
Right.
in their lives. It's like your mama telling you, baby, don't do that, you're gonna break your neck. You know, it's like,
That's 100% true. Absolutely. Is there anything that you would like to share during this moment? Anything?
well, I just really want people to pay attention to the importance of Black history. You know,
Right.
it's very important that we embrace everything about Black history. I mean, you know, and we got to acknowledge the people who have contributed to what we're doing. You know, it's like I take time, even in my personal time, to acknowledge Martin Luther King, to acknowledge Malcolm X, to acknowledge Clyde Kennard, to
Right.
acknowledge James Meredith, who you know paved the way for me at Ole Miss. You know, it's just people don't understand what they went through. People like Constance Slaughter Harvey, who was the first Black woman to graduate from Ole Miss Law School.
Right.
You know, she paved the way for me to be able to do what I'm doing, which was get a law degree from Ole Miss and then matriculate on that level, and then graduate and become a lawyer and become a judge. And I've been doing it good for a long time. Oh, Lord have mercy. 26 years practicing law, that's a long time. That's
Right.
a long time. It's like I started practicing 2 years before my son was born, and he'll
Wow.
be 25 next month.
Wow. That's
Shout out to my baby, Gabriel Payton. Speaking of Black History Month, he's a graduate of Jackson State University, which is an HBCU in the state of Mississippi.
ooh, that's lovely.
Yes.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Judge Gabe Polk, for coming on and providing a
Absolutely.
voice for our Eagles and talking about Black History Month and what that means for you.
Yes.
So thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for all of those interviews, and thank you for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to Shania Williams, our audio engineer, and Devontae Anthony, our video producer, for keeping this bird flying. Big shout out to our assistant producer, Jalen Pagan, and our assistant manager, Kelsey Bolden, as well as executive producer, Miss Whitney Howard, and our GM, Dr. Wilbur Martin. I'm your Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. Stay golden, Eagles.
Sponsorship comes from Southern Beverage, your local Michelob Ultra distributor. Michelob Ultra has significantly fewer carbs and calories per serving if you are watching those in your diet. You can reach Southern Beverage by phone at 601-268-9111, or you can find them on the internet at southernbeverage.com. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri, and Southern Beverage ask you to please drink responsibly.